What is up, everybody? This is episode 3 of the Attack at Random podcast. My name is Jeff. If you haven't known this by now, thank you for sticking with us for 3 whole episodes, 3 consecutive weeks. Trying to continue doing this back to back to back. And yeah, we're just going to keep the train rolling. Shout out to everybody that subscribed so far. I went from having like 20 subscribers, mostly just friends, to having 38 at the time of this recording. So, hopefully by the end of October, before the end of the year, maybe we can reach 50, 50 subscribers. So shout out to everybody that's listening on all the other platforms, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast. I appreciate all two of you guys, two of my friends that has been listening or even just checking in every once in a while. Still love you guys. Appreciate you. Um, so there's been a lot of things happening this week in terms of both tech, gaming, and just overall nerd related news. One case in particular is the whole Google antitrust case that just recently happened. So you're probably wondering what this case is about. Well, the US government is accusing Google of using its immense power in the online search and advertising markets to unfairly maintain its dominance. So, in simple words, the government believes that Google isn't playing fair. And being in a capitalist society, one company can't be having all the power. But unfortunately, some do. Looking at you, BlackRock. So Google controls around 90% of the online search markets. Think about it. When was the last time you used a search engine that wasn't Google? So this dominance isn't exactly what the government is concerned about. So the case argues that Google's actions make it incredibly difficult for other companies to compete. For example, Google pays billions of dollars each year to be the default search engine on web browsers and mobile devices. This means that most people are using Google not necessarily because it's their first choice, but because it's the easiest option available. So if you open up, any sort of browser, Opera, Firefox, I'm not going to talk about Chrome because Chrome is default Google. Or even if you have a iPhone and you open man, words. If you open Safari, default search engine is going to be Google, which I will get into Apple here in just a moment. They pay billions of dollars each year to be the default search engine for multiple platforms. At this point in time, you're probably not using Google just because it's your first choice, even though it probably is. It's more than likely it's because it's the easiest choice available. It's the most convenience. We're a society of convenience. We need instant gratification. Why does this matter to you? You're probably wondering. So the government claims that when competition is satisfied, innovation suffers. With fewer competitors, there's less incentive for companies to improve their products, meaning you might not get the best possible search experience. But it's not just about search engine. Google's dominance in online advertising is also under scrutiny. The company controls a massive portion of the digital ad market, which the government is saying gives Google too much power over the flow of information online. So the case is one of the biggest antitrust actions in decades, reminiscent of the famous case against Microsoft back in the late 1990s. Back then, the government accused Microsoft of using its dominance in the PC market to crush competitors, particularly with its Internet Explorer browser, which we all know nowadays is a bit of an inferior browser. Edge has been all right, but it's been upgraded to use a Chromium platform or base. So it basically acts like Google Chrome without being Google Chrome. Before this whole thing started, if the government were to win the case against Google, we could see significant changes. This could include breaking up parts of Google's business, imposing strict regulations on how the company operates, or even opening the door for new competitors to enter the market. This whole thing started back in 2020. Now, just this past Monday, a judge ruled that Google illegally held a monopoly in both the search and text advertising. So I have this article pulled up here. So the landmark case from 2020 alleged that Google kept its share of the general search market strong by creating barriers to entry and a feedback loop that sustained its dominance. The ruling marks its first anti-monopoly decision against a tech company in decades, of course, going back to the whole Microsoft thing that I just mentioned. So, in a quote from Judge Amit Mehta says, Google is a monopolist and it has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. So the Department of Justice and a bipartisan group of attorneys general from 38 states and territories, led by Colorado and Nebraska, filed similar but separate antitrust suits against Google in 2020. Suits were combined for pretrial purposes, such as discovery and evidence. Attorney General Merrick Garland called the decision a historic win for the American people. So General Merrick Garland said, "No company, no matter how large or influential, is above the law. If only they would keep this type of energy for their own fucking people in Congress." This is going to be a huge impact on Google, as far as I can see. Now, how is this going to affect other platforms such as like Apple? That is a pretty interesting question, because now it leaves Apples with very inconvenient alternatives. So at the heart of the case are billions of dollars worth of exclusive agreements Google has linked over the years to become the default search engine or on browsers and devices across the world. No company benefited more than fellow big tech giant Apple, which U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta called a crucial partner to Google. During a weeks-long trial, Apple executives showed up to explain and defend the partnership. Under a deal that first took shape back in 2002, Google paid a cut of search advertising revenue to Apple. So Google and Apple were, they were in cahoots. They knew about this. So Google was making this money off of its search engine, slid Apple some money, like, yo, here you go. And yeah, and basically Apple was like, yo, put your shit on our phones. After Google paid a cut of its search advertising revenue to Apple to direct users to its Google search default program, they were basically paying, there were payments reaching $20 billion back in 2022. According to court's findings, well, yeah, a little bit of that. According to the court's findings, in exchange, Google got access to Apple's valuable user base, which is more than half of all the search queries in the US. Think about that. More than half of all search queries in the US are coming from Apple devices. That's how many people are using Apple. So since Monday's ruling, Apple has been just kind of on the hush hush. But it's likely to be deeply involved in the next phase of the case, which will address the purpose or the proposed fix to Google's legal breaches. Remedies in the case could be targeted, wide-ranging. The Department of Justice, which brought the case, has not said what it will seek. So it's going to be an interesting case. It's more than likely going to be something that Google's going to either have to pay a hefty ass fine, they're going to have to follow some sort of strict regulations, or they're going to want the government to be fully involved in this process. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I think there's going to be a huge change in the tech or in the search engine area. I know probably a lot of you are familiar with a lot of the EU cases that's been happening. Apple had a lawsuit in the EU where they had to basically change the lightning cable to a USB-C cable. There's going to be some interesting changes. Now, my own personal opinion, I kind of wish that they would, again, keep the same energy for a lot of these other companies and or themselves in the government, keeping the same standard for Meta, how they use and abuse user data. Hell, even going back to Google, like how they're selling fucking user data. It's a crazy thing to be experiencing at this moment. So yeah, expect expect things to change, expect things to be strict. Who knows if Google is going to still be the dominant search engine? I firmly believe they will, because I have personally seen people open up a Google browser like Google Chrome or Firefox, type in Google, just Google, so that it brings up a Google search page with the first link being google.com. They'll click on google.com to be able to type in what they want to search. Yeah, that is the state of where people are at these days. They will do a Google search for Google to be able to open up google.com to do another Google search. Yeah, people, man. Anyways, so speaking of the things that are going to be more stricter, Reddit is thinking about creating some, considers search sort of advertisement, search ads, paywalled content, and all that things. Reddit released its quarter two for its earning reports for quarter two of 2024. Reddit released its quarter two earnings report for 2024, and while they're still operating at a loss, things are starting to look up for them. The company reported a $10.1 million loss, which is a huge improvement from the $41.1 million loss they had this time last year. But what's really interesting is how Reddit plans to turn things around and start making more profit. One of the biggest takeaways is that Reddit is all in on boosting ad revenue. In fact, their ad revenue grew by 41% year over year, bringing in over $253 million last quarter. How they plan on keeping that momentum going is by placing ads in more places on the site. So imagine seeing ads in the comment section or even in your search results. So Reddit is already testing some of these ideas out. Now, the thing that's going to get really interesting is that Reddit is also considering paywalls for some subreddits. So this wouldn't affect the existing communities we all know and love, but rather new ones and exclusive ones with special content. It's still in the early stages, but it's something they're seriously looking at in terms to be able to generate more revenue. So of course, Reddit has faced some backlash about this over the recent changes, like blocking certain search engines and forcing personalized ads. But despite all that, the platform is still growing and is going to continue to grow. So in quarter two, daily active users shot up by 51%, reaching over 91 million users. So while not everybody is happy, it seems Reddit's still attracting more and more people. It's going to be a crazy thing. You know, Google just got a whole antitrust lawsuit against them that they lost. Now Reddit's considering more paywalled content, so basically paying for certain subreddits, and it's creating this whole. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm getting tired of the whole subscription based culture that we've kind of created, and a lot of people are just, or I shouldn't say a lot of people. We kind of brought this on ourselves. Hell, I remember when subscription loot boxes were a thing, and I'm pretty sure they still are. Um, I don't know. The whole subscription culture is just getting way out of hand. It was a sort of ease of convenience at first, and providing cool stuff. You know, shout out to Loot Crate, but it nowadays it's just insane. You're paying $30 to $40 a month for what, like food or, you know, clothing, having a subscription. Here's the thing that pisses me off the most. So HP, we all know, is a bit of a terrible company. I don't care if I said that. HP is notorious for their HP Smart or HP Plus Ink subscription thing. Either way, there's been notable reports that HP, if you sign up for their Instant Ink, that's what it is. If you sign up for their Instant Ink subscription, so that they basically mail you or ship you new ink when you're running low on your HP printer. That's where am I going with this? Yeah, they're notorious for basically cutting you off from printing. So if you own an HP printer and you're running low on ink, but you've canceled your instant ink subscription or missed a payment, they basically cut you off from being able to print to your printer because you no longer have a subscription with them. Not only that, HP printers are super bad when it comes to being able to use third-party inkers or inks cartridges. So you specifically have to get a HP cartridge to be able to use your HP printer. And if you've signed up for the instant ink subscription, you cannot miss a payment. Otherwise, your printer is basically bricked. Printers are evil on its own, right? So if anybody has ever had to troubleshoot a printer, you know what I mean. They're the fucking antichrist. They're evil. And overall, they're just terrible, terrible to deal with. So, and it makes things so much worse when it's actually an HP printer as well. So yeah, that's a bit of a tidbit if you didn't know. HP printers are evil. They will block you out of being able to print if you miss your payment or cancel your subscription for the instant ink. Anyways, getting sidetracked. What do you guys think? You think more ads will be more ads and possible paywall changes are going to be good for Reddit? I can see this causing some problems for Reddit. They're going to probably drop a bit of user. They're going to drop some users, but I think that's going to be the gist of it. I don't foresee them having any sort of major problems down the road. And speaking of having major problems, how do you guys feel about Elon Musk? You know, leave a comment to tell me how you feel about him. Do you love him? Do you hate him? Do you think he looks weird? Is he an alien? Leave a comment down below and let me know. But yeah, speaking of the weird alien known as Elon Musk, he's going to make some controversial changes to X/Twitter, however you want to call it. Basically, they're testing the removal of the like, comments, and repost button. We know that back a couple months ago, they removed the likes tab under people's profile. So now they're planning on removing the like buttons, the comments, the reposts altogether. So the view count would be removed from reply posts as well. This change to X/Twitter hasn't been released yet, but it was something that was discovered in code of the most recent X app. X for iOS version 10.53 was where the code was found. So new features and platform changes were discovered. This way, some of these changes don't always go live, and sometimes they remain unreleased. But this does show that the company is seriously considering the move and officially testing out the removal of these buttons and counts. So the removal of these features would only affect how replies look while viewing the original post. So if a user clicked on a reply, the post page for that reply would reveal the like, comment, and report buttons in views. But removing interaction counts from replies would undoubtedly change the culture of X. So it's going to affect the social media. The reason why they're doing this is to try to protect certain users, quote unquote, and they're trying to affect the meme known as ratio. So whenever a person posts a controversial or unpopular post on Twitter or X, there's people going to reply to it, and the comment in the replies usually get more likes or reposts than the original poster. And that's what's kind of known as the whole ratio. And Elon Musk himself is no stranger to making huge or getting ratioed, I should say. Like I said, most recently, Musk made all users' likes private, which the company themselves admitted that it was made in order to protect users who like controversial posts. And I think it was because Elon Musk was they saw some of Elon Musk's posts, and there was a lot of right wing posts that he liked. I believe he also liked hentai, allegedly. I don't know. I'm just saying Elon Musk might be into hentai and furry. Again, allegedly. I don't know for sure. I don't kink shame. Last year, they removed link headlines from posts because Musk did not like the way it looked. The contextless link previews caused trouble for the platform, and it soon reverted back to displaying the headlines. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how things play out here. I honestly can foresee Elon Musk removing the reposts and the comment feature. So you're only going to be able to see the original post. You're not going to be able to see who liked it. You're not going to probably like it yourself. You can't comment on it. Like, it's going to be a boring platform. So I think we should all just gather our fan base, gather our users, come off of Twitter, and just go back to like MySpace. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. We should just just go back to MySpace. Tom wouldn't have done this to us. Tom loved us. Tom for president. What do you guys think? Are you all in for these changes? Do you like getting ratioed? Do you not like getting ratioed? Twitter's full of bots, anyways. Oh, which reminds me, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the dead internet theory. If you haven't heard what the dead internet theory is, or you're unsure what it actually English. I'm having trouble speaking today. Fuck you, leave me alone. So the dead internet theory is a conspiracy theory that suggests that a large portion of the internet is now controlled by AI and bots rather than real human activity. Proponents believe that most of the content on social media interactions and some websites are generated by AI to influence opinions, manipulate behavior, create illusions, and it's in a diverse online world, yada yada yada. So it is basically saying that a lot of the activity that you see on social media, the replies, the likes, and comments are just made by these bots, and is not actually real people doing this stuff. Most notably, see this more on Twitter or X, however I'm just gonna say Twitter because it was originally Twitter. We mostly see this on Twitter with basically these bots creating a post and then people replying underneath with things, outlandish things that have no say or have nothing to do with the original post. It's a pretty interesting theory. I highly recommend you check this out because you can actually see this happening in real time. So yeah, dead internet theory. And honestly, the more I think about it, dead internet theory can be a really cool hardcore band name or like a cyberpunk type of name. Ooh, new genre, cyberpunk. No, well, actually, that you might get sued for that one. Either way, dead internet theory, cool band name, kind of cool conspiracy theory. Either way, check it out. And we wouldn't be this sort of podcast if we didn't mention something about AI besides the whole internet theory. This past week at the Black Hat Security Conference in Las Vegas, there was a researcher that basically found, or there was a researcher that basically used Microsoft's Copilot AI system to be able to hack users on the 365 app. That's kind of the best way I can describe it. But basically at the security conference, there was a researcher by the name of Michael Bargery. He was demonstrating 5 proof of concept ways that Copilot, which runs on the 365 apps such as Word, Outlook, Excel, stuff like that, can be manipulated by malicious attackers, including using it to provide false references to files, exfiltrate some private data, and dodge Microsoft's security protections. So one of the most alarming displays was the researcher's ability to turn the AI into an automatic spear phishing machine. They dubbed it LOL Copilot. It's the red teaming code the Bargery created can basically allow a hacker, once they have access to someone's work email, to use Copilot to see who you regularly email, draft messages mimicking your writing style, including emoji use, and sending a personalized blast emails that can include malicious links or even attach malware to them. The dude mentioned that he can do this with everyone you've ever spoken to, and they can send hundreds of emails on your behalf if they have access to your email. So Burgery, who's the co-founder and CTO of a security company called Zanetti, published his findings alongside videos and such, showing ways Copilot can be used and abused. So a hacker could spend days crafting the right email to get you to click on it, and then they can generate hundreds of emails in just a few minutes and flood your company's inboxes. Yeah, this is a huge blow to Microsoft security. They really need to step their game up. So among the other attacks that Burgery created, among the other attacks created by Burgery is a demonstration of how a hacker, again, who must have hijacked an email account, can gain access to sensitive information, such as people's salary, and this is all without triggering Microsoft's protections for sensitive files. So basically, when asking for data, Burgery prompt demands the system does not provide references to the files data is taken from. So it's basically bullying the system. Dude created another demo which showed an external hacker how they could get some limited information about whether an upcoming company earnings call will be good or bad, while the final instance, Burgery said that it turns Copilot into a malicious insider and just providing users with links to phishing websites. So this is a huge flaw to Microsoft's Copilot. It's going to be interesting to see if Microsoft themselves has any sort of say on this. There is a video here that I want to see if it has or shows what's going on. So here we see in the video, dude has access to someone's email and he's using Copilot to be able to find who the top collaborators are, what the other person's email address is, the last conversations, and Copilot is just spitting this information out. The email's already been compromised, so they're just getting all the information that they need, getting the email of a certain team, and having them craft an email to the person and asking Copilot to be able to mimic their writing style. And it's all about prompts, and it's crazy. It's insane that something like this can happen. Look at that. Just posting right into their, copying the team's email address, finding a previous email that was sent, bam, attaching malicious files, and just like that, it's that simple. Look at that. And that is why we all need proper training, companies like KnowBe4 and stuff like that, and just overall common sense. Stop clicking on links and opening attachments that you don't know where they came from. Always vet your emails. Always ask if you don't know if this email is legitimate or not. Call your IT department. Call your manager. Get them on the phone or somebody. Contact the person that sent you the original email. You want to make sure that they weren't compromised, and the email that they send is legitimate. Always verify. Always. And this is coming from an IT perspective. Stop clicking on shit that you don't know. Let us look into it. That's how people get compromised. Companies lose thousands of dollars, and or shit goes down and causes a lot more problems and headaches. Stop giving me headaches. So just a quick update on this. It looks like Microsoft did respond back to this, and says the company appreciates Burgery for identifying the vulnerability, and it says it's been working with him to assess the findings. And quote from the dude says the risk of post-compromise abuse of AI are similar to the other post-compromise techniques. Philip Binzer says security prevention and monitoring across environments and identities help mitigate such or stop such behaviors. God, I am struggling to speak today. Either way, that is whole Microsoft's vulnerability out there. It's crazy to see um, how easy it was for this person just to be able to mimic someone's writing style, if you will. Anyways, but going on from here, I want to talk about some other news that's been happening recently. Disney had their D23 events, and for those that are unaware, are not sure what D23 is, so D23 is just a expo for major fans that is hosted by Disney. They hold it every 2 years, and the company announces its upcoming projects across all its divisions. This is including Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and so much more. So a lot of shit was going down at this year's D23 Expo. A lot of things got announced. Talking about some of the Disney parks and experiences. I don't know too many people that are able to go to the Disney parks. Shit is expensive, but they got new attractions. They got Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is a re-imaging of Splash Mountain themed around the Princess and the Frog, and that's set to open sometime this year. They also have the World of Frozen attraction, which is a new land at Hong Kong Disney, inspired by the Frozen films. And they also announced some expansion projects to their parks. Disneyland's new Avengers Campus attraction. There's a new ride featuring a multiverse storyline where guests battle alongside Marvel superheroes. So it's gonna be a fun time for the kids. There's even a new announcement for Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. It's still in the early concepts for a new area at Magic Kingdom with potential attractions based around Coco, Encanto, and other Disney villains. Now we get into some of the stuff that people care about more. Some of some more of like the movies and the more affordable things people can do. Disney announced new animated films. They announced Elio, which is a Pixar film about a young boy who becomes Earth's ambassador in intergalactic city, or not city, society. Disney also announced Iwaju, which is a sci-fi animated series set in a futuristic version of Lagos, Nigeria, and it's in collaboration with Kugali Media. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Either way, going on to the stuff that I personally care about. During this D23 Expo, they had announced some highly anticipated TV shows and movies. One of them being Fantastic Four. I don't know the full name of it. I think it was like Fantastic Four First Steps. Yeah, the Fantastic Four First Steps. And it's gonna be great. Pedro Pascal is set to be Mr. Fantastic, and they got Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Evan Moss. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but he's playing Ben Grimm. I'm sure you've all seen already that's Tony Stark, or not Tony Stark. He played Tony Stark, but Robert Downey Jr. is set to return to the MCU to play Doctor Doom. There's been some speculation that he is going to be a Tony Stark variant from a different multiverse that gets pulled into the MCU's main universe. I believe it was the 616 universe. Don't quote me on that. I gotta rewatch Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. I'm pretty sure they mentioned it there. If I remember correctly, it is supposed to tie in with one of the or not tie in, but it's supposed to follow loosely one of the comic books where I think Tony Stark does become Doctor Doom or replaces Doctor Doom. So I'm kind of interested in see how that goes, but I am more excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm I'm not a huge fan of the previous fantastic bullshit that happened, where we had Miles Teller play Mr. Fantastic, then we had Michael B. Jordan playing the Human Torch. Overall, the casting had potential. The writing just wasn't there. It was bad. It was very bad. And then of course we had the previous Fantastic Four movies where we had Chris Evans play Johnny Storm. I completely forgot who the other actors were, quite honestly. You know, those movies were all they were all right for what they were. I was definitely excited for the introduction of the Silver Surfer. I'm kind of upset of how they did Galactus. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a Galactus in the future. Maybe not. Either way, we have a reboot. I know a lot of people were expecting I always forget this dude's name and I always butcher his name, but Jim from The Office, whatever the fuck his this guy's name was. Uh it's spoiler alert or not. The movie has been out for like a year or two now. I don't know how long. Either way, you should have seen Multiverse of Madness already. Um Jim from The Office, he played or did a cameo for being Mr. Fantastic in the Multiverse of Madness movie. Quick spoiler, another spoiler alert. He dies. He dies almost instantly to Scarlet Witch. We have now Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards. So I'm excited to see how they do this movie or TV show or however they're gonna do it. Marvel has kind of not even Marvel, Disney overall. Whoever Fox maybe was it Fox? I don't know. But the previous Fantastic Four movies weren't really up to par, and it really did not do the Fantastic Four team a good service. So I'm excited to see how this plays out. I want to see more. I want to see Pedro Pascal in that suit. I feel he has the right acting skills. He kind of looks the part of Reed Richards. I'm definitely excited to see how this plays out. And another announcement that they've made was the Thunderbolts film, which is the team of anti-heroes with a lineup including Bucky Barnes, Elena Belova, and many more. They have the U.S. agent, which was I believe during the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. He was the dude that was supposed to replace Captain America, got pissed off and like murdered somebody with a shield. If you remember that scene, that dude is the U.S. agent. Speaking of the Falcon, we have Captain America: Brave New World coming out, uh, starring Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, and this is his first official film or role as the new Captain America. I believe during the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, it's been a while since I've seen it. He was kind of just going through the notion or going through the flow of accepting himself to become the new Captain America. And at the very end of that series, he finally accepted who he was and the role that he was given to by Steve Rogers and took up the mantle of Captain America. So I'm excited. I want to see how this plays out. I probably won't see it day one, but I'll give it some time. I'll see how the reviews are and just wait a couple days after it releases. Now, the one that I'm really excited about is Daredevil Born Again. So, if you remember way back a couple years ago, Daredevil initially released on Netflix. It was a Netflix original show. It released like 2 seasons, I believe. We all remember that iconic hallway fight scene. It was great. Charlie Cox plays an amazing Daredevil. Overall, the scenes that were shot were great, but Disney eventually caused Netflix to cancel the series. So they canceled Daredevil, they canceled Luke Cage. We even had the Iron Fist. Iron Fist, I had such high hopes for Iron Fist, and the show didn't really live up to it. So I'm hoping maybe they'll get a redo. Even Luke Cage gets a redo, but after I guess the whole buyout or something, I don't know. I don't remember the exact reason why it was canceled. I think it was because of Disney procuring Marvel stuff. But yeah, they canceled it, shelved it. We've seen Charlie Cox come out in a couple cameos where he showed up in She-Hulk. He showed up in the Spider-Man movies. So it gave us hope that he's gonna, continue his role as as Daredevil. This D23 Expo, we finally got a leaked footage. Not even a leaked footage. Like people have been recording. It's been all over social media, but we're getting another series or a revival to this Daredevil series with Charlie Cox, and it's called Daredevil Born Again. At the time of this recording, there hasn't been an official trailer released yet. Actually, let me double check that. Okay, yeah, no, there's been videos online of Daredevil Born Again. We're getting John Berthal reprising his role as the Punisher, and yeah, there's a couple of other cameos in the initial trailer that I've seen from the D23 Expo. I'm excited. I can't wait for this to drop. Oh, even going back to Brave New World, we're getting motherfucking Red Hulk. We're finally getting Red Hulk. I hope they don't fucking ruin this fucking character. Like, uh, what's this dude's name? I'm drawing a blank on it. Either way, the current Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. There we go. That's who it is. Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. He's been I don't like the direction that Marvel has been taking him. They've been turning him into more of a joke character, and it just hasn't been feeling like the Hulk to me. Same thing with Thor. They've really turned Thor into a huge comedic support character, and I'm not a huge fan of it. No, I want my classic Thor. I want classic Hulk back. The Hulk that is just pissed off, angry at everything. Even if they start going Professor Hulk, like how I initially thought that they were going to. Um, but I digress. I want this movie to be great. I want Captain America Brave New World to do good because I'm excited for fucking Red Hulk. Daredevil, Brave New World. I just mixed two different series together. Daredevil Born Again. I'm excited for this. I cannot wait. Yeah, going on to Star Wars now. We're getting a new season of the Acolyte. I am not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Acolyte is what it is. If you watch it, if you don't know much about Star Wars, you'll probably like it. There's the fights. There's been certain fight scenes that have been actually pretty good from a cinematic standpoint. It's just the overall story. I cannot get behind it. They announced Star Wars Skeleton Crew. They dropped a trailer. The new Star Wars series is told through the perspective of 4 kids, and it follows them as they make a mysterious discovery on their seemingly safe home planet, and they get lost in a strange and dangerous galaxy, crossing paths with the likes of Jod Wood, a mysterious character that Jude Law plays. So that's going to be interesting. We got season 2 of Andor. For those that have seen that, I haven't caught up on that. I need to catch up on that. And also this D23 Expo, they had Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. They revealed the upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which started filming a few weeks ago. It's set to hit theaters on May 22nd of 2026. I'm pretty excited for that. I kind of want to see how that goes. I want to see a trailer first. I want to see some footage before I say anything. Also for the Disney fanatics, Toy Story 5 is dropping. I don't know how you feel about that. I feel Toy Story has been overplayed. They just need to let it rest. They also announced Moana 2 and the live action Lilo and Stitch. I don't know how people are gonna feel about it, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's essentially the most important parts of the D23 fan event expo. Again, we got Toy Story 5, we got the Frozen musical, got Lilo and Stitch, Moana, Star Wars, Marvel stuff. Lots of fun stuff being announced. And last topic before we call it here for today. Going on, it's just a quick gaming tidbit here. So for those that haven't heard, in June of 2024, Capcom shook the fighting game community, and they announced something unexpected. They announced a collection of its classic Marvel vs. Capcom games. I've been a huge fan of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I love playing it in the arcades. Such a fun game. Quite honestly, this is probably going to be a hot take. I do not like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. There's was a huge lack of characters. There were some interesting ones, but I loved the diverse and huge character selection of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I remember I had it on the PS3 at one point, but then it became unplayable. They took it off the PlayStation Store. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, in June they announced that uh, they're going to drop a collection of its classic Marvel vs. Capcom games. And speaking of Capcom, they it's their dream to make more Marvel crossover games. And Marvel themselves have been noticing that the fighting game community has not let this franchise die. You know, I personally love being able to play as Wolverine, Ryu, and then like either Gambit as my team and just start fucking shit up in the arcades, or you can have a team of Magneto with Doslim and Spider-Man. You know, it was a really interesting crossover, and it was so fun. The mechanics of the game was great. The fluidity, the character selection. You know, you had most of the X-Men in there, different Marvel heroes, Omega Red. Then you had Venom, Iron Man, Captain America, and even Mega Man because Capcom. So imagine being having a team of like Captain America, um, Mega Man, Zangief, or Wolverine, Storm, and Chun Li. It was a really fun game, and I cannot wait for them to drop more of this stuff. So I'm hoping this creates a new opportunity for a new Capcom based SNK game. Yeah, I want more Marvel versus Capcom. We need it. I feel like the fighting game or the fighting community deserves another crossover game like this. There has been other crossover games that's happened before. The one that I remember the most notably is the Marvel, or not Marvel, the Tekken X Street Fighter game. That was okay, and it actually, I believe, canonized a couple of things. If you know the complicated story behind Tekken, then at a certain point, I think it was either Jin's mother or Kazuya's mother was actually friends with Akuma. So when she died at the hands of Heihachi, Akuma actually showed up in the Tekken universe, and I think that was during Tekken 5 or Tekken 6, 7, maybe. What Tekken are we on? I don't even know. Either way, basically Akuma appears in the Tekken universe, and I think that canonized it and made it that the Street Fighter and Tekken people were Tekken or universe, or they're not separate universes. Is what I'm trying to say. Regardless, that is a whole nother thing. The Tekken storyline is insane. You have people throwing their kids off into a volcano. Then you have the grandpa being strapped into a rocket and being launched into space and dying. Motherfuckers causing World War III through a massive corporation. Shit is insane. If you haven't looked into the Tekken storyline or don't even know about it, just look up a YouTube video. If you just play it just to play the fighting game, then just look up a quick YouTube video on the Tekken storyline, and you'll see how insane this is. How insane the storyline is just because of these people with daddy issues. Yes, I said it. The majority of the Tekken storyline is because the three top people, or three top strongest people in Tekken, just have daddy issues. Heihachi has daddy issues. Kazuya has daddy issues. Jin has daddy issues. Jin is the number one person that has daddy issues. Maybe. Or mom. Regardless. They all have some sort of fucking issues to the point where they basically cause World War III. I am not joking. They literally cause World War III. That is a thing. Look it up. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there, guys. I appreciate everybody that's been sticking with me, checking out the podcast, sharing it, liking, subscribing, commenting. It's been a interesting sort of couple of weeks. You know, this is episode 3 of the podcast, and we're gonna continue on. We're gonna continue on next week. We're gonna drop episode 4. Shout out to everybody that's been listening. I hope you guys continue to stick with me, continue to like, continue to comment. I'm only going to continue to improve because continuing, and I'm going to continue to say continue. I don't know why. I'm just rambling at this point. Shout out to you guys. Love you guys. Check out the links in the description. Check out Entertainment Earth. It is a great platform for those that love collectibles. There are probably even some Street Fighter figures in there, or even Tekken related stuff. I know they have plenty of Marvel related things. Shout out to Gabi. Gabi, I know you're listening. Love you, man. Yeah. Anyways, continue to check us out. We're gonna continue posting more content. We're gonna keep this flow going. We're gonna post shorts, clips, all that fun jazz. So yeah, keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and we shall see you later. Peace.